This case is about the liquidated damage, EcoWorld versus Dobler. So what happened in this case? The employer hired a contractor for a residential building project. It has 3 blocks, A and B, C. The contract has completed A and B, but in the contract there were no provision for a sectional completion. During the possession, employer took the possession, but they haven't issued a practical completion certificate for the A and B. Then the contractor has delayed in completing the block C. Now the client, EcoWorld, applied the LD over the contractor. The full LD rate states in the contract. Now the contractor disputed. So I have completed A and B, just the C delayed. You took the A and B possession, so we achieved the practical completion. So just C delayed, so you should apply the delay proportionate to the value of the work. Unfortunately, in this contract, there were no provision to reduce the liquidated damage in case of sectional or partial completion. Similar to the FIDIC. In the FIDIC clause 10.2, there is a provision to reduce the liquidated damage in case of the client issue the takeover certificate. Now the client object, they said, so LD rate is for the whole contract, so there's no sectional completion, so we can apply the full LD rate over the project if you delay even the section C. So the question before the court is whether the LD rate should be proportionate or not. So the court held the client can apply the LD damage until this contractor complete all of the works A, B and C. Another question was this LD rate is a penalty because the contract LD rate is for A, B and C blocks, but just the C delayed, so it is a penalty. So but the court decided it's not a penalty, it's the rate the parties agreed, and further they considered that during the negotiation external lawyers also reviewed the contract, and the contract had enough opportunity to raise an objection if they did not agree for this LD rate. The LD rate applied for the whole contract, and finally contract had to pay the LD rate for the whole contract, even they delay only the block 3.
Australian Academy for Construction Technology, a government-registered online training institute for construction professionals. Hurry up! Join today.
So what the lesson learned from this case? So you should make sure if there are sections in the contract or project where the client want to get those sections early, so you need to have a sectional completion state in the contract. Then once the sectional completion completed and the employee take over that section, so you need to ask the client to issue a practical completion certificate. If the client did not issue the practical completion, that means you are liable for the LD if you delay the whole project. The same way happened to the Dobler in this case. In some contract, there is no sectional completion states in the contract, but when the project is ongoing, the client asking to hand over a portion, like what we call as the partial completion. Even in that case also, you need to record the achievement of your practical completion for that portion, partial completion, and get issued the practical completion for that particular portion. You will not encounter such an issue in the FIDIC based contract. FIDIC has clearly addressed those partial and sectional completion circumstances. If you go to the FIDIC 10.1, it is stated the taking over of the sections and the works, where the engineer should issue the takeover certificate for the works, or in general term practical completion certificate. Then if you go to the section 10.2, it addresses the partial completion. The section completion is the section states in the contract as to complete on a particular date for practical completion. And then the section 2 is talking about the partial completion, where the contract does not state such a sections, similar to the previous case we discussed, but when the project is going on, the client want to take over a portion of the works. So in that case 10.2 apply, where the engineer need to issue a taking over certificate for that portion of the work. So that clause clearly mentioned the reduction of the liquidated damage in case of a partial completion. So as they mentioned, so if a taken over certificate has been issued for a part of the works other than a section addressed under the 10.1, the delay damages thereafter or completion of the remainder of the work shall be reduced.